All of you mofos who tried to play me, now I need to see a cashier's check. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome and welcome back to Soap Lore, the official gathering place for newbies, novices, and OG diehard fans of the golden age of primetime. I'm your host, Jed, viewing and reviewing one of the soapiest, edgiest primetime storylines of 1984. We're on the West Coast doing the absolute most, back at Falcon Crest for some family drama. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Babe, no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, or kicked out of their only option because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soap Lore. Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. I hope your day, week, month, whatever is shaping up finally. I hope you're having a good time. But we gotta get back to business. We're halfway through, or at least the first third of the way through, Falcon Crest, Dynasty, and Dallas. Today we're gonna focus on Falcon Crest. We got a little something going on. You know, this is a slow burn that takes its time, but I had a weird little revelation about this show this week. I wonder if you'll feel the same way. At the time of this recording, we're entering the holiday season. Everything is in full swing. And for the most part, that means family, food, and fun. That's not always a good thing, according to some people, and especially back on Falcon Crest. Family is kind of that gray area. It matters, but how much does it matter? We're going to get that all worked out on this episode, so grab yourself something bubbly and bright. Kick up your feet as we enjoy Season 4, Episode 11, Going Once, Going Twice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to beg your pardon right off the rip. My dog, who is afraid of leaves, is suddenly the biggest, bravest dog on the block and acting a teetotal fool in the background. I'm going to pull her inside so we can watch Episode 12 here in a bit, but let's get through this. I hadn't forgotten, but I certainly felt elated when I remembered what had happened last time we watched this show. Good cousin Francesca is in town from Italy. She came through to see if she could save her family in Italy. You see, there's a difference of that word when it comes to Falcon Crest. We've seen the most. I've mentioned it 137 times. Angela was perfectly content burning her dead brother's body, throwing it off the side of a cliff. Big deal. Chase didn't actually seem all that tore up about it. Family is important, but why? Is it the money? Are they protecting their family's legacy through business? Is it love? Is it devotion? Or is it the expectation of loyalty? This is where things get a little bit murky. When you look at a situation like Angela's actually been waiting so many years to take her rightful throne. She has worked very hard. She loves the land. And here comes this nephew out of nowhere who ran off, but now the prodigal son wants half? Absolutely not. That's where she's coming from. Chase sees an opportunity to make amends to the land he left long ago. He wants to reconnect with it, and this is an opportunity to bless his little core family. He's with that me, my, for it, no more. He's not really worried about Angela too much, but at the same time, he means her no harm. So you can imagine how Francesca feels flying in from Italy, coming to talk to her cousins who she knows are in the same business. They've been in business not as long as the family in Italy, but she expects love and loyalty because, as she put it, everybody in her town, she takes care of everybody. They love each other. It is family first, period, point blank. She came across the sea to plead her case, only to find that these people are not who they seem to be. She is disgusted. She thinks it's a disgrace. So much so that she does a Holy Ghost tarantula dance to get all the evil off of her. And then she bounces. So at the top of this show, we already know Francesca is front and center. It is her last few days in Tuscany Valley, and she's got some decisions to make, but she's going to do it the right way. She'll see y'all in court. Naturally, she's a talk of the town. What will she do? Is she going to sell? Is she going to be awarded the property at Falcon Crest? Because I guess there's still a little bit of a chance, even though it's a holographic will. First off, Why am I just not realizing what that word holographic meant? I had no clue. I had to actually Google it. Like, what are they? I'm picturing that beautiful glittery dust from Star Trek, or all the little rings I had back in the day I thought were so cute. No. I guess there's a small opportunity for her not to gain the property. It doesn't seem likely. And Angela is sitting pretty. She is cocky. She's cool, calm, and collected because she knows she has a contract locked tightly in her safe where Francesca agreed to sell her rightful share, quote unquote, putting her back on top, leaving Chase a measly third of all of Falcon Crest glory, and that's going to take no time at all to push him out of that. So this is light work. So she's floating around with a smirk on her face. This annoys Chase. He's like, you know this is your fault, right? Had you not been so slimy and scandalous, your sister would have never done this. Now she knows who you are. Now she's mad at all of it. And Angela's like, boy, bye. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Emma happens to chime in and she goes, what Mom's forgetting to tell you is that Francesca left last night. We ain't seen her since. So now Chase is looking upside Angela's head even more. Like, oh, okay, is she going to show up to court now? You pissed her off so much she's not going to even show up? Angela scoffed. She's like, Francesca's a broke boy. She has to show up. She wants this money. She can't go back empty-handed. She's going to show up, period. Chase is kind of a background player all episode, though. He wakes up at the top of the show, and he's outside looking at the vineyard. He's still pissed about this FAA review, even though it cleared him. All he can think is, you know what, Angela got away with something again, and now she's trying to get away with something with Francesca. That's the whole reason we're in this mess. He's looking at angles like, I'm not going to let this go. I don't care if she's an old woman. I don't care if she's my aunt. She's going to jail. I'm going to make sure if I have to sue her, if I have to bring in the feds, she's going to jail. She's tampering with evidence. She's tampering with witnesses. She's always tampering. He's not wrong. She is a meddler, but she's also a powerful villain. She knows what she's doing. Sometimes I question her villainy, though. If Chase were to just walk away, is she still a villain, or is she just really, really into her? The main story of this episode is, of course, Chase, Angela, and Francesca. What will happen? What are we going to do? We got to get rid of the bit players first. Only this episode, there's sort of two major stories going on. I mentioned this a few episodes ago of how I'm starting to really, really enjoy the breakneck speed of a nighttime soap opera versus the slow burn of a daytime soap opera. Falcon Crest, of course, being the exception. It's still quick because, there's only so many episodes. They have to finish the story. But this time, this season, I feel like they flipped the script completely and they went daytime on us. So do you remember when Julia was chilling in the Suburban and the ambulance guys come up and they put that whatever they pour on a cloth and, they drug her or whatever? Well, Julia wakes up this episode sweaty in a hospital gown and cuffed to a bed. I did not expect this angle, not at all. So a nurse comes in and Julia's waking up and she's groggy. Oh my God, where am I? You're in so-and-so hospital. Oh my gosh, I called him Lyle last time with his name Lucas. Well, didn't you hear? Lucas is in jail. She's like, jail? Jail for what? He went to jail for harboring a fugitive. And it's right about this time that Julia looks down at her feet and hands and realizes she is strapped to the bed. Oh my God. Okay, this makes sense. I'm a fugitive. They finally caught me. And I'm sure she's thinking to herself, I tried to turn myself in, but they told me to go home. What am I supposed to do? Now I'm locked to the bed. Please let me out. Please let me out. She's not really in a hospital, obviously. Where she's at is in a villain's super lair. This is so Stefano. This is so daytime soap opera, Days of Our Lives specifically, and a little bit of Passions. Like the story seems like she's locked in a cave in a secret lair somewhere. No one else knows where she's at. But they have altered her reality. So she believes she's in a hospital. And never mind that there's a two-way glass picture frame window in front of her, that all she can see is herself is, well, that makes sense if you're a criminal. They had to put you in a special wing. But the truth is, Spears and Lieberman are behind the glass. They're drinking old fashions. They're watching her. And they're laying the story out for us, the audience. They want Julia to believe that she has been caught, that she is no longer a fugitive on the run or a scot-free woman who can't be on the run because everybody thinks she's dead. No, They want her to believe that her mother was the reason she was apprehended. Now, that it's not enough to have the nurse tell her all that. She's going to get suspicious. After all, this is a brilliant wine scientist woman. She's a very smart bird. However, they have gone through all the trouble of setting up this layer. There is a television that she's clearly watching TV on all day, but there's a fake newscast that tells her that Angela Channing tipped off the authorities that her daughter was still alive. Lucas so-and-so has been apprehended, blah, blah, blah. So she believes, lock, stock, and barrel, that her mother has turned her in. Now she's like, well, how the heck? How did she know? How did she know where I was? So she's stressed out for the rest of the episode. But this is such a daytime soap opera move. They did this close enough to the beginning of the series so that they have time to work it all out. You think about Julia's story. She's been locked up for, what are we at? 2 or 3 seasons now? Since season 2. She's been in an asylum. She's been in jail. She's been on the run. This woman's freedom is constantly in question. And I have to believe at this point, Julia is turning into a full-fledged villain. She has to. Her origin story is too deep. It's too disappointing. She's had everything she's ever wanted snatched away from her. She finally got a little taste of freedom, finally let herself relax, and this happens. My mama turned me in, bet. No, we can't assume that they're going to leave her in there forever. What good would that do? She's clearly being weaponized. We just don't know how just yet. But I imagine within the next 8 or 9 episodes, because you know how Falcon Crest are, we might not see Julia again for like 10 episodes. She's going to need to make a choice at some point. Just like our good sis, Pam, rockabilly, if you will. I don't know why the stylist has insisted on dressing her in Michael Jackson Thriller garb every single episode. It is leather this, leather that, bouffant hair, pleather, jewelry to the nines, but she has been pushed aside for a more mature Italian woman, and she feels a way about it. Only there's not a lot she can do. You see, Pam has a little bit of a checkered past. Now, I don't know who she was before she became Richard's secretary, but apparently wasn't great. She was in with the cartel a little bit too much. She decided to back away from that. That didn't really pan out. She's kidnapped. She's brought back. This man tore up half the world looking for her, only to be replaced just like that on a clear afternoon at a garden party by an older Italian woman. Now, she had no chance. We knew that. But now that this is all played out, she decided to keep the job. Well, this episode, we get to see why. She confronts Richard. Like, dang, you really don't matter. You don't even bother you that you sort of threw me out to the cold. He's like, I didn't tell you to leave. I didn't tell you to move out. Sir, what was she supposed to do? You're sleeping with Francesca. She's just going to chill in your bed till you get back? Absolutely not. She has some morals. She has some respect for herself. But he's like, look, in not so many words, I still need you. You can do whatever you want. You can work here, you can not. But if you're going to work here, I need you to get to work. I need you to find Francesca for me. She's rolling her eyes. Like, are you for real? Yeah, I need you to go back to that hotel you caught us in. I need you to go stake it out. She's like, are you sick? I have to endure that again? You really want me to just, like, relive it? He don't really care. And I question Richard's motives because it's still not abundantly clear based on the way he deals with women. He seemed to be pretty into Pam. He seems to be enamored with Francesca. So I suppose more than one thing can be true at one time. He can really be in love with her, but still see a business proposition. He still sees a way to gain something. But I do not think that is his main motive. I really, really don't. I think he would be disappointed if he didn't get the property or if he couldn't convince her to sell it to him. I think he's doing okay. Pam, however, is wearing the weirdest. It's not even her outfit. She's got on a leather skirt suit. And there's something almost cartoonish about some of the clothes in the 80s where it's I'll look it up here in a little bit. But the tops are oversized in a way where it's a dress, but there's still a skirt on it. So it's like almost a midi dress and then a little skirt attached underneath. I remember my grandma used to make my cousins and I and my sister these dresses where we were little. So I guess it wasn't that difficult. You basically get a really long t-shirt and you cut it to where it just kind of be this straight up and down thing. And then you get another t-shirt and cut that in half, and you'd attach it to the bottom of the first, making this weird dress. But she would do it in different colors. So we might have like a blue top and a pink skirt and flip it. And it was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it. And that's what made me think, oh, I can make my own clothes. I can sew. So cool. But I see this more and more as I pay attention to these shows. I see them a lot on Dynasty more. Haven't seen it on Dallas at all. But it's just sort of a looser fitting dress. But it hangs really, really low. So she's got on like this black dress with, imagine like red claw marks across the top. It's not bad. It's cute or whatever. Of course, it's leather. But her purse is like this cylinder muff, for no other words. It's not even leather. It's like pleather. It's soft enough. And then it has this caveman sling through the middle of it. I'm like, no, what in the actual hell are you doing with this on? It is so distracting and hideous. 9 times out of 10, Pam has something pretty extravagant on, but this was just, I don't know what the heck that was. She looked crazy. You know who else is looking crazy this episode is Aunt Terry. Now, Aunt Terry is teetering out of the Bad Girls Club every single day. You either need to be good or good at it, and quite frankly, she don't have the villainous thing in her. Plus, Florida man is driving her absolutely nuts. He's popping up on hours of the night. He's super energetic. He's sweaty. She don't know what to do. She can't hardly relax. So there is a mild showdown this episode between bad girl Melly Mel and our sad girl Aunt Terry. Aunt Terry has been demoted from the group until further notice. I cannot, in good conscience, call her a bad girl. She's not good at seducing. She's not that good at lying. She's not that good at shooting. Aunt Terry is on the bench right now until she does something to redeem herself. So there is a dinner at the faux castle of Chase and Maggie. Terry is there because she's Mag's sister. Melissa is there because she's in good graces now with Cole, at least. The rest of the family is trying their best, but they're doing it for the baby. So Melissa's eating and she's telling the maid. Now all of a sudden Chase and Maggie have a maid. Can you imagine? In their little house? Melissa tells the maid that the champagne chicken was mwah. Chef's kiss, delicious. You'll have to give me the recipe. Terry decides she needs to say something because she's the aunt. Not to mention she's a thief. She's all kinds of things. But forget about that. That was a long time ago. Melissa's persona non grata. So she said to Melissa, well, let me know when you're going to try to cook it and I'll alert the fire department. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Good luck turning on your oven. Something to that effect. Bad girl Melly is trying to be cool. But Terry's comments will not go unchecked, okay? Bad girl Melly tells her, well, you might as well call him now because my oven is always warm. Ooh. I don't think they're talking about cooking. Well, Terry has to shut her mouth for the rest of the meal and, keep it cute with Melissa. But as far as Chase goes, they're all talking about Francesca and what she's going to do. And Terry's like, so if she sells to Angela, you're going to basically be pushed out. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's not a lot I can do about it. I certainly won't be in the production side. Melissa is enjoying the champagne chicken that she's going to get the recipe food. And she goes, well, you can always rent space. You can always do X, Y, and Z. And plus, if you have your own, you can start your own business. He goes, well, I mean, how can I do that? She goes, well, I mean, like I said, you can rent space. Don't worry about Angela kicking you out of anything. We can find distributors and they're going to be more apt to work with you if you have the best harvest in all of Tuscany Valley. Now his ears are perking up. He's like, well, no, wait a minute. You mean yours? Absolutely. I'm trying to be good in this family. You know what I'm saying, Terry? She looks at her, kind of winks like, I know how to run a business. You don't. Have a seat. So yeah, I'll sell you my harvest. Don't even worry about it. Now, she can't just let this go, bad girl Melly Mel. I want to do a solid for my man's dad. He's been good to me or whatever. I don't really have any problem with him. But I also want to rub this in Angela's face. So she goes over to Angela's house the next morning to talk about how much she misses the place. And the Manimal and Angela are having tea. Melissa was like, well, I hope everything goes well with Francesca because, I mean, I ultimately stand to inherit all this. And they're like, that's so cute. Oh, by the way, Angela, I'm selling my harvest to Chase. It's irrevocable. There's nothing I can do about it. Bye, losers. She gets in her little 2-seater and drives off. This pisses Angela off. She's like, Manimal, get in there and get in them lawyer books and figure out how to get her out of my will. I refuse. And he's like, it's not going to be easy. Well, just figure it out. Figure it out. Do something, John. Terry's day is not so well. So after Terry leaves that house that night, she goes to her car right in front of the castle. And here comes Florida man. He comes leaping out of the bushes, harasses her. But she's had enough. She's got the thing on her. So she pulls a pistol out of her purse. As he's slamming her up against the car, he's mad because she was supposed to be home an hour ago. He needed to exploit her for some money. He's got people looking for him. Get it together, Terry. So she's like, I've had enough of this. She pulls out the gun. He goes leaping over the hedge again, and then she's all, pew, pew, pew. She shoots. She misses. Chase comes out to make chase, but there's no one to chase. They call the sheriff, who was doing well, I'm happy to report, after his little surgery. And I don't know his face. I don't remember what he looks like, blah, blah, blah. The next day, she's at her pool, and of course, this a-hole comes jumping out of the bushes again, pouring himself drinks. He's just getting on her last nerve. She's like, Joel, for God's sakes, please go away. Please just leave me alone. Can't do that, honey. I need this money. Plus, we're still married. Well, Richard, through an event, I'm going to leave out this episode, hears about the whole shooting thing, and he goes to see her, and he's like, Terry. No, as Richard pulls up, Joel leaps into the marigold bush so he can listen from a distance. And Richard tries to just attack this head on, because if she's shooting at Joel or whoever, this mystery person, it implies that the crime rate is going up. It is messing with his business too. So he's like, Terry, I can help you, but I can't help you unless you tell me, because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who this person was. He's like, I doubt that. She's like, no, seriously, I have no idea. And he's like, I went to your house last week. You almost shot me. You're walking around with a gun for no reason. You definitely know something. When you're ready to tell me, just let me know. I'll be able to help you out. Well, she can't very well say yes because Joel is in the marigold bush. So once Joel comes out and he's like, who is that weirdo? She explains who he is and that she's more afraid of Richard Channing than she is of Joel. So they both better just straighten up and fly right, or it's going to be a problem. I hate to admit this, but Joel is super cute. I might just stare at it a little harder. It's just like that Lance thing. It's such a slow burn. I had no idea what was going to happen. I was like, oh my God, he's hot. He's very cute. I mean, I get it. Other than the sweaty Florida man breaking and entering thing, it's not really doable. Finally, Pam reports to Richard that she was so bored at the hotel. She saw the Golden Gate Bridge with womp womp womp. He's like, that's cute. Did you find Francesca? Yeah, I saw her about an hour ago. And he's pissed. Like, I told you to call me when you see her. She goes, well, I didn't feel like I should because she's on her way to court. And he's like, court? Oh, yeah. Let's get dressed. Let's go down there. There's no way I'm missing this shit show. So they get in the car. They go down to the courthouse. And the whole family's there. Chase has his representation. Angela has her representation with the manimal. And the judge is ready to start. But Francesca's late. She's like, where is Francesca? She enters right there with her own lawyer. See, she was so disgusted with her family. She's like, I'm not speaking to any of you mofos until I get this legally binding contract or whatever settled. Let me make sure I got my inheritance and then we'll talk. So the judge, of course, it was just kind of an open and shut thing. She's like, obviously, she gets her third. We're going to make sure she gets everything she needs, blah, blah, blah. So now Francesca is willing to talk. She sees her family, Chase and Angela, and she says, okay, well, now that we're family again, Angela, I'm going to move back into the house, but I'm leaving on Wednesday. So we need to get this squared away. All of you mofos who tried to play me, now I need to see a cashier's check. I'm going to sell to the highest bidder, okay? Or do whoever I feel like it. So y'all show up at the house about 4 o'clock on Wednesday, right before my flight. So I'm going to leave right after. And bring your money, cashier's checks, because I don't really know y'all like that and I don't trust you. So now everybody's like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Richard pulls her aside like, baby, please. We have this beautiful thing. Woo. She's like, I don't know if I can trust you. I just don't know about any of this, but I'll keep it in mind because you're cute or whatever. So Wednesday rolls around and everyone shows up to the house. Chase and Angela, because of course they're family and they live there. Lieberman, as Mr. LeBlanc, shows up and everybody's like, what the heck are you doing here? He's like, I mean, she told me to stop by. I sculpted her or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. Cool. Then Melissa shows up just to be petty. Like it really makes her know, never mind how this goes. She's going to get the money one way or another. She's either going to get it through Cole or she's going to get it through Angela. Either way, it makes no never mind to her. She just wants to be messy. Lance is there and Maggie's there for moral support. And then Richard comes with Pam. So Francesca takes her time. She and her lawyers show up and her lawyer's like collecting all the checks. They requested that they all be in sealed envelopes. And then she tells Angela, oh, I'm going to use your office, babe, okay? Angela kind of rolls her eyes, but whatever. So she goes into the office. And as they're opening the envelopes, it is very clear that Angela had shortchanged her so much. She was like, oh my God. Francesca was not expecting a big deal of money, which speaks to her so much because when it comes to family, loyalty, and love, for her, first and foremost, it's very clear that it's all about family. She only came to borrow money and she never really even thought that Angela would shortchange her. She assumed the price she gave her was fine and it must have been enough to fix her, her vineyard. But when she opens the checks and she's like, dang, like she tried to play me. She was giving me pennies on the dollar. So, okay, I'm going to keep that in mind. She's still family though. Family, family, family. And she's going to be loyal to the Gioberti. So she makes a decision and she goes out. Unfortunately, there is no tap dance tambourine number this time. She's just straight up and down. And she walks over to Chase and Angela, who are sitting on these two chairs in front of the fireplace. And she touches both of them. And she goes, we are family. Even though I'm disappointed in y'all, if I help Angela, I hurt Chase. If I help Chase, I hurt Angela. I'm not going to upset my family. I'm not going to hurt either one of you. Unfortunately, you two are not the father. They're like, oh my God. So Lieberman's kind of smirking like, okay, cool. I ain't family. Who cares? So she walks over to him. Or she's stroking his shoulders all cute or whatever. And she's like, you're just not family. I don't really know you. So, no. Like, dang, why'd you call me over here? Which only leaves Richard Channing, her booski, her love, her lover. Did she choose love over family? I don't know. I feel like she chose the right thing. And it didn't help. It helped that, he was talented or whatever in private. So she goes over to him, Richard, it's all yours. And she's all holding him. And I think this is the first time Chase realizes that they had a thing going on. But Chase and Angela, in their boily coiffed realness, just are staring at each other at the end of the episode. Like, I can't believe, are you serious? Richard is in the mix? Of course he's in the mix because we're 1/3 of the way through and we need a little drama. I personally really like this. I kind of feel like this is going to be in Chase's favor because Richard hates Angela. And he just needs Chase to calm down on city council and then everything will be cool. Like they're brothers. It's going to be fine. As long as, Angela's called him Richard's bastard. Douglas's bastard for so long. All Chase has to do is be cool. Let me have my little gambling ring and I'll make all this crap go away. Bravo, bravo. I enjoyed this episode. I hope you did too. Join me next time as we jump into season 4, episode 12, Falcon Crest. I don't know what it's called. I didn't look, but we'll see what happens. You know them. There's no telling what they'll talk about. In the meantime, in between time, when inviting family over, please don't piss them off until the check clears. You can be in a world of trouble otherwise. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your business, and keep all